supposedly. Let's see if my browser. That's how these things always start. We're supposedly live streaming right now.
I know, it's like, yeah, we know we're live streaming. We just wanted to have nothing to say.
Oh, what is it? Scramble, scramble. Okay, I'm not. It says internet control stop. Use. Whatever. Okay. You do tell me something. Okay, now I see myself on YouTube, so it's like a 10-second delay.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Isn't that what they do? 3.
All right.
That's the Wayne's World.
You got to come sit down so that we're on the same focal plane.
Gotcha.
And I got to turn this here and turn that there. Are you there? Are you? Oh. I should probably just manually focus this. Okay. And I think we're even in sync, but...
I'm a happy camper.
Isn't that your wife's hat?
It is my wife's hat. I just was like, I want to be a happy camper today. But I was in an editing suite not interacting with the outside public, so no one knew other than...
Welcome to the Totally Awesome Video. Wait, what is it?
Make awesome videos.
Make awesome videos. I have Totally Awesome for some reason in my head from something else. Make Awesome Videos offices, which is a complete mess still because we're actually making videos instead of cleaning the office.
I like to call it organized chaos because
I cleaned out a store. We cleaned out a storeroom too at the office. There's a bunch of us here, and a bunch of stuff that got cleaned out to be a server room. They're having jousting tournaments.
Every time we start a podcast, people get loud.
I want to close the door. Oh. Okay. This is my doorstop. That's from college back in the day. Or sorry, university.
University.
I can't remember if I read that book. Okay, so we have a couple minutes before we have to get going. But what do you want to talk about? You want to talk about everybody vlogs?
Well, I mean,
you
yes.
Want to talk about
everybody vlogs.
Should we address news really quick?
Yes, let's do news.
Even though I know nothing about the details, we can just talk about it.
I know a few. I read a few details about the new Phantom 4. I don't know anything about Inspire because I'm not going to be an Inspire owner.
No. It would be fun, but there's no
necesita.
I can speak. It's not a necessity. There's no necessary thing for it.
Bienvenidos a
clase. Look. That's funny. So when I focused on you, the camera punched in.
Oh, it's like we're doing a 2-shot.
I didn't even think about that. Well, yeah, that makes sense when it's going out the HDMI. Is it going out clean? It is. Okay, good. I can't remember if I turned that off or not. Yeah, it's like our ISOs. I can totally ISO you.
Yeah.
Oh wait, hold on. Is it doing it? Punch in. ISO you. Ooh. Look, that's yours. Hold on. Where's me?
And
where's me?
You're on the other side.
Look, here's me. Here's my ISO.
Hey, that's kind of a cool. If we had a intern, we could say we could
scroll it with his finger, and then we could cut to like the computer.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. We could also talk about what's in a mic kit, or we could talk about renting versus buying.
Renting versus buying, and then I think someone asked in one of your things about the Kinefinity, so we may address that.
Yes, because there's also more news on that front. I'm going to stop fidgeting now. Sorry, this is just my whatever. Okay, so are we frozen over here?
No, I think we're good.
It says our strength is good, and I don't see anybody chatting with us. Not that anybody really chat with us, because this is always just random. Oh.
Yeah, we're back.
I was just stuck for a second. Okay, who knows how these live streams work. News.
The news. DJI 4.
What?
Pro.
When did that happen?
This morning.
Yesterday or this morning?
Well, it was yesterday, yeah. Sorry, it was yesterday. So some of the key features I saw was the new draw to fly. I may be saying it wrong, but you can and fly. I don't know if you have, I'm assuming you have camera control, which would be your pan. I don't know if it's keeping its orientation.
It seems like it would control the camera, right? But then you could take it over if you wanted to.
I don't know. I mean,
because that's how it tracks you, is with the camera. So that's how it's identifying what to track via the image.
Right. So I didn't look into seeing if that was kind of like a cable, like some of the other companies are calling, like a cable cam, or
they have profile, another new one.
Right. You can do profile. I don't know if it has all the features, because the main thing for me was it's more expensive.
$1,500.
I don't know if it
1,500, I think.
$14.99, yeah, for the, and then you had an LCD built in for $17.99, so $1,800. So I don't know what the specs are on the LCD.
I think that's cool. I love the idea of having
Yes.
a built-in screen potentially. Look at this, ready? Boom! On the computer already. Let's just look at it right now.
Well, how did you do that?
It's special. Okay, what are we looking at again?
So we're looking at DJI Phantom 4.
Drones, Phantom 4 Pro.
So it's got the new anti-collision on
the back.
all the way around, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's always had on the front, right? So,
But it was like at a 30 or 40 degree angle of field of view. So you could still run into stuff if you're going right to left or backwards.
Here's the screen. I love the idea of the screen. I mean, you guys can look at this stuff on the computer. It's just something other than us looking off to the side. Let's click on buy and see what happens.
It's
Yeah, $1,500 for the basics. And it's faster too.
It's faster, and it's supposed to have 3 more minutes of flight time, which 30 minutes, honestly.
That's amazing.
That's amazing, because I've gone on a couple of shoots, and I'm bringing 4 batteries just in case, and I only pull 2 out because of the 20 music videos where we're just repeating the same moves. We're not doing a ton of flying. The Inspire 2, $3,000. That seems like it's come down in price, but what does it come with?
The thing that I thought was super cool about the Inspire 2 was it's even faster too. I think they were saying 60 miles an hour?
But see, and then, so there are some camera differences. I need to address the camera differences because those are actually really cool. Why I wanted the Phantom 4 Pro, it is, I think they've gone all the way up to 100 megabytes per second, which is great.
Yeah, you know what, honestly, I haven't looked into the Pro features. So yeah, these are the Pro features versus...
So it has a real shutter.
That's nice.
I don't know if there was any, like, so the new codecs.
Oh, yeah, that's
There's some
cool.
new codec. I think there's H.265. I don't know if we have support in Premiere for that yet, do we?
You know, I'm not sure. I think so, but I could be wrong.
So that would be very cool. So the Pro camera features are what really interested me. It jumped up to like 24 megabytes on the stills. Yeah, 20 megabytes, a 1-inch sensor.
Has it always been a 1-inch sensor? I think like it's a bigger sensor.
It's a bigger sensor.
That's
sure.
pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5 directions optical stabilization, the monitor.
So some new track features. Honestly, the better you get
Fly.
at flying a drone, the less you need the tracking features, just so you know. But don't buy it for the tracking features. Buy it for the camera and the anti-hitting stuff. That's all useful.
For me, the features would, and this is where I guess you could say, if you're more a pro guy, you would be getting the, what's it called? The Inspire, or for me, I'm still stoked about the Mavic because I can put that in my backpack or my pocket. Because, I mean, you know, I crashed on my mountain bike for the first time the other day in forever, and I didn't have my Phantom 4 with me, 3, because it was an out and back on the trail, and I thought, oh well, we'll just go and then I'll fly. I'll pick it up at the truck and just fly what we just rode. Yeah, I totally endoed it, and I would have just destroyed the drone.
You did get footage of it though.
I did. It doesn't look very good. The GoPro, I got on the GoPro. It looks more like I just kind of like old lady crashed.
Yeah, you just ran into a shopping cart or something.
But that's pretty cool. So new DJI stuff.
Very cool.
I'm waiting for them to update the Ronin. I would love to see some Ronin updates because the Movi has some new updates, some new hardware. It looks pretty sweet. I'm just waiting for the...
the Movi, I mean, we're in like, what, $6,000 for the Movi?
I thought it was more than that.
I think the Movi Pro, I don't know, I'm totally talking like just in passing, but I think the Movi Pro, the Movi, I've seen so many ways to attach it. I think they've really done a lot of smart things. I mean, everybody's like blown away by it can sit on the ground now.
Oh, it's Freefly Systems, right?
The Movi is Freefly.
I can never remember who actually makes it. So
yeah, the Movi Pro.
And this is Shane Herbert. If you guys watch him at all, he's all over the place. He's a pretty well-known DP. He's pretty. I keep saying pretty.
Pretty.
He's all over the place when it comes to social media. So if you follow him, you should. He's got some good insights on stuff. But anyway, he loves this thing, and he's talking about the Movi and all this stuff. So yeah, I love the idea. The Movi has this new, they call it the Ring, which, you know, you wonder, like, why hasn't anyone thought of that a while ago? Why hasn't anyone pulled that out and gone, okay, it makes it so much easier to then dock your thing or hold on to it or rest it down or whatever.
I definitely think it's more of the upper echelon of before you get into like is it a Lima head? You know, like a big on a like a big camera. I think the Mimic is cool that you can use with this.
Yeah.
The Mimic is, and then I mean I don't know who's going to use alpha wheels with something like this, but
no, it's true. But
the Mimic,
I would love to have DJI come up or somebody come up with something. I don't know if they've patented it or something like that, but that would be cool because then you give a director. Sometimes you give a director because either as a drone operator or a Movi operator or a Steadicam operator, you do your best to translate what the director wants, right?
Right.
Sometimes, and I'm lucky enough, usually I'm the DP, or I know exactly what I want to get, so I'm shooting it, and sometimes I'm directing it so I can get it. But occasionally directors will be like, oh, I was really trying to do this. Well, now they can, instead of having to learn the stupid joysticks.
Yeah, it's
Mimic's awesome.
Yeah, and it's also, I think you can probably get a lot more dynamic with shots if, you've got a camera operator that's like, listen, your whole thing is you're holding it straight, we're doing a very tracking shot, and then the DP can have the Mimic and be focusing on, another aspect of that shot that is probably a lot more tricky for a single operator. So, I mean, the Movi, if the budget was no option,
I do love how they've taken all the wires out of it, and that was a big deal what they were talking about in their promo. The wires are hidden, so you're not snagging on stuff, because you can get these things built up pretty messy.
Yeah.
A much more lightweight system, and then also just having a lot more controls on the system instead of having to use an app or something like that. So
yeah, I think they did some cool stuff with D-taps and power for cameras and like all of that stuff to make it more integrated, follow focus, all that stuff I think is just like in this already.
And I would expect that from the Freefly Systems guys because they're the category creator. Because we haven't seen anything from them in a long time.
Right.
Anything new, really. It's all just kind of been the same thing. And so
very cool.
I like how they've kind of taken that to the next level and said, okay, now that we've perfected the basic idea, let's then go and add some stuff. I was just looking at the pricing. You know what? You're right. They're only like $7,000 ish, which is a huge difference from what they used to be. So.
Yeah. And the other thing is just the ability for being able to go from, like if they show on that page, you've got the drone base and it's just a snap. So you can take it, obviously someone who's going to be operating it, they may have several platforms, like a car rig, and you go from a car rig to the ring, from the ring to the drone, and then back to some sort of jib. And it's not like, oh, let's get it on the head and then you're attaching it. It's just click.
And that is something that's a big, you have moving from device to device, especially when you have to balance it. And this is way easier than like a Steadicam. But the DJI does have, at least I'm trying to think if they had, I bought a bunch of third-party adapters that you can mount that base motor to.
Right.
But it's still a pain. And having it be something that's kind of built into the system.
I think they've standardized it,
that would be great.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else industry news-wise that we're forgetting?
I can maybe save my industry news for the end because we're going to talk about the new camera.
Well, let's talk about it because I don't know how long we've been going.
How long have we been going?
Oh no, 13 minutes, which is already too long for.
Well, if you're watching us, hopefully you're like running on the treadmill and you're soaking some of it in.
Talked about anything that I said at the beginning, which is okay. I just think it's funny that. Kinefinity.
Here's the lowdown.
What's their website?
It's just Kinefinity.com. So here's the thing about Kinefinity. So the 6Ks are shipping, okay? I am decided that I'm probably going to move away from DSLRs in the next probably 2.5, 3 months. I'll probably ride Christmas through.
Now, why is that? Why do you feel like?
Just because the 5K is not shipping, and the 5K is not shipping with a side handle either. So you would have to buy the $1,000 Kine back, and I would buy it with the monitor and the side grip, which you can power for about 2 hours if you're shooting in RAW, probably an hour if you're shooting in ProRes or the higher bit rates, or high frame rates. So I don't necessarily want to Kine back. I don't, because I plan on using their monitor and the side handle, and that's the. So,
Okay, supposedly we're live again. And
we are live again.
Okay, it says resumed. I have no idea when it cut us off. Oh, I just refreshed my thing. I wonder if
we're back.
Okay. Well, anyway, so let's just jump back 2 seconds. Pretend like it was like a commercial break. You know, it's like
break. And
if
we're back.
you were watching last time, exciting things we were talking about.
I will try not to ramble.
You know why it crashed?
Why?
Because I was rendering at the same time. No, I wasn't. I'm just kidding. But I am streaming and doing the web, and the internet here is not like pristine. It's not Google Fiber like in my house. Okay, what was I looking at? I was looking at which camera?
Okay, you're looking at you should be able to look at both specs for the Terra 6K, 5K.
6K and 5K, and then they have the the Kinemax, which is the 6K.
Kinemax. So here's the thing, just so you know, quick thing. If you want a 6K, the Kinemax is basically the same sensor. It's just better and smaller form factor, and you get ProRes. So that's the difference between the
Terra and the Kinemax.
Yes, the Terra 6K and the Kinemax is ProRes and form factor.
What is the price difference? Because the Kinemax looks bigger on here.
It is bigger. It comes with SDIs.
It's longer, I guess.
It's more of a like ready to go cinema camera. It's not the modular RED style.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Interesting.
Doesn't come with a monitor. Doesn't have a side grip. It's just more of like an Arri Alexa style.
But you said it's the same sensor.
Same sensor as the 6K Terra.
But it gives you a ProRes.
But it gives you ProRes.
So
native.
So the Terra does not give you ProRes native.
No, the Terra does.
Oh, it does.
It's the Kinemax. You only can shoot in Kineraw and DNG.
So why would I want a Kinemax versus a Terra then?
Because it just wasn't that. Because that's been out for a year and a half. So
the Kinemax has been out that long?
Yeah.
I thought it was the other way around for some reason. Sorry, I'm backwards.
Yeah, the Terra is the new one. So 6K is shipping right now. No one in the U.S. that I can verify on any of the Facebook forums have gotten one yet. We are seeing. I'm like doing some searches, and I'm seeing a few footage, some test footage, and this guy. And it looks good, like good dynamic range. So for me, real quick, why I'm going to pick probably the 5K over the 6K, but you can tell us if I should do it differently. Number one, in the 6K, you get higher frame rates in the Super 35. In the 5K, you get basically all the really good high-speed stuff above 100 frames per second is all Micro Four Thirds or Super 16. Still in 4K, still in 2K, but and
Does it punch in the sensor extra then?
Yeah, so it's windowing to a Micro Four Thirds.
Okay, so without hearing any more information, here's my vote, hands down.
What? You're
gonna want a bigger sensor if you're doing high speed.
Okay.
Because as much as I am a Micro Four Thirds, if you have that sensor sitting there, you're gonna be frustrated that you can't use.
Yes.
Especially because the lenses that 35 primes, they're built to be 35 primes. This camera that I'm looking at right now is a Micro Four Thirds, and it's got a 7-14 on it, which is built for Micro Four Thirds.
Right.
And it's pristinely sharp for that purpose. Okay, here's the other thing. When the RED 1 first came out, when we started shooting 120 frames on the RED 1, I mean, it was amazing because it did what it did.
Right.
But the problem is once you start punching in that sensor, you realize how sharp your lenses needed to be to make it look like you wanted it in your head.
Yeah, to resolve that, yeah.
Exactly.
So, the only temptation for me for the 5K was the global sensor. So there are times where I would think might be shooting stuff that is more either sports or action sports oriented, and no one's seen how bad the rolling shutter is going to be on the 6K. I think they made some improvements to hardware to fix that in the firmware versus the Kinemax, but I can't verify that. So, and then the other thing is, yeah, on the 5K, you don't get to take advantage of the focal plane that I'm aware of, that you could actually use Micro Four Thirds lenses. So if you have glass that's Micro Four Thirds, you're using.
So you can't do that on the 5K, but the 6K you can go into that Micro Four Thirds mode.
No, it's the same focal plane, but you get more of the frame rates in the Super 35, the full frame without windowing, in the 6K. So you get 6K at 60 frames. You get 100 frames at 5K, Super 35, where on the Terra, you go, as soon as you hit 100 frames per second, you go right to Micro Four Thirds.
Okay, yeah. And I think that once you start hitting, well, that's the thing, is that the Scarlet was so frustrating to own when it came to high-speed stuff or overcranking anything, because 48, okay, half the speed, that's decent, 3K, it's kind of usable, but after that, it just got so frustrating to just be losing that much resolution every single time you went in. And I would have thought by now people would have worked it out so that you'd have fast. I mean, RED's going crazy with their high-end cameras, how fast they can go, and obviously the Sonys have too, but those are kind of dedicated to those kind of things. But 60 frames.
5K, you get 15 in rolling, and it didn't ever say specifically when you did high frame rates that you lost dynamic range, but I'm guessing there's got to be, because I don't know. I don't know.
This may be showing my ignorance. I don't think you do though for frame rates.
For frame rate,
just all you're doing is using that same sensor and the same exact technology. You're just taking faster samples, which takes more light and more processing power.
Right.
Otherwise, I don't think that should affect the way it captures it at all. Gotcha. So you should be fine.
So really, for me, I think, because I am going to be doing high speed.
The only thing that would do, is if, like on the Ursa, you can't capture over the 60 frames in Cinema DNG, which will give you, I think it's 16-bit versus the 10-bit ProRes. So yeah, you will drop some if you're restricted to whatever codec, but because it's the Kine RAW, you should be fine.
Yeah, everything, I think, as far as I know, all the high speeds are available in Kine RAW. I think the 240 frames is only available in the, which is okay, because I've heard good things about Scratch, and the Scratch is their, I think it's like the DaVinci. I don't know. So if I'm wrong.
Well, it's like isn't it it's their Red Cine basically, their version of.
Scratch is a software.
Oh, Scratch. Oh, yeah.
So I think Scratch is kind of like Resolve. You bring it in, and it's a different editing platform that works better with that workforce. So anyway, so I think probably the 5K, so the 6K, if I ordered it today and gave them all the money, it would ship in 6 weeks.
That's not bad. Meaning, like, that's when they're actually shipping, or that's their lead time to get it out?
That's their lead time. Right now on the Kinefinity, person got on the Facebook. If you're interested, they do have a Facebook. It's private. You have to probably know how to count to 10 for them to let you in. They let me in. And then there's great discussions on some of the real technical, nerdy forum stuff. But everyone's very super positive, and there's not a lot of trolling or anything going on there, so it's a good place to get info. But someone came on there and said 6K shipping, but a lot of the pre-orders started in China, and so all the first cameras and so nothing's hit U.S. yet.
So although 6 weeks, if that's true, if they're being honest with that, that's not bad. Honestly,
bad.
It's a time to wait, but at the same time. I waited longer for the RED, and I waited longer for the Ursa.
Right.
So, I guess just suck it up to all you people. Suck it up.
And I think really with because I can always get my place in line at least by giving them the $150, which is $150 to get in line. That's not bad. So so I'm excited. I will probably be getting rid of both Sonys to make way. And I'm kind of bummed because I didn't spend a ton of money. I spent like $400 on legacy glass on eBay, which has been working awesome with my Sonys. I have no native Sony glass, and it works great. I've shot a couple weddings. Just manual focus that stuff. Bam.
It's the only way that pros do it anyway.
Well, I don't know if I'm pro.
Well, stills are different, but
yeah, I'm shooting video at weddings.
If you're relying on manual autofocus for video guys, I'm telling you right now.
Yes.
Learn to do it manually.
If you guys want a Sony, I'm selling them. The A6300, I wish I could keep, is an amazing.
You want the A65 anyway.
I do want the A65, but that 6K sensor that downsamples to 4K is it's almost too sharp. Like you almost need a little softening.
It's pretty sexy.
It's pretty sexy.
All right, well, let's wrap it up then, because now we've been talking for half an hour. At least that's the two combined. I think.
Telling you guys, just plan your workouts, let it soak in. It will osmosisize, and you will be smarter filmmakers.
Wait,
right?
What's that got to do with workouts?
Because let's like when I'm editing,
Oh,
I just listen to podcasts and let it just like, and then every once in a while I'll catch something like, oh my gosh.
One of my favorite things to do was when I used to go to a gym. We went to 24-hour fitness before we had kids. Now we just work out at home. But I used to listen to the Mac Break podcast when podcasts were a brand new thing, and I had like a little iPod, and I was like,
oh yeah,
I'm part of the future, running on the treadmill, listening to stuff.
You and Steve Jobs were like, what's up?
I don't think ever.
R.I.P.
Steve Jobs wasn't on there actually. It's Alex Lindsay and a couple other guys and some other guys and Alex Lindsay and a couple.
Oh.
Anyway, but they call it Mac Break. It kind of stole that.
Oh, gotcha.
It's not. They're all Apple fanboys.
Gotcha.
Which I used to be.
I like my Mac. I have a Mac. I have a PC. I swing both ways.
I'm still an iPhone fanboy, but. And I have like 300 of these shirts, by the way. I don't all just wear the same. Well, no, I don't have the same color. They're all different colors, but just.
I like your workout shirts. I think they're great.
That's all I wear is race shirts. They're awesome.
Because you actually work out. I pretend to work out. Unless I'm on your set, then I am carrying the big stuff.
That's right.
We put up a 12 by 12 the other day. What do they call that?
Like a 12 by?
Well, no, a 12 by. Isn't there like a fancy, like they call it a butterfly?
Oh yeah, there's a butterfly frames. Technically,
butterfly
I guess.
frames.
Although I don't know if a straight butterfly frames. I think they call them that because they unfold to bigger. I could be wrong though, but
Yeah.
we just call them diffusion frames. So 12 by, 6 by,
12
8
by.
by.
Yeah, that was a sweet. I can't wait to see that cut. That's looked good.
Yeah, I gotta go finish that actually. That's one thing I should probably go do right now.
And I should as well.
We'll talk to you guys later.
On the flip side.
Yeah, as much as us sitting here, this live streaming works great because then it's done and up.
Yeah, we don't have to edit it.
Exactly.
Which I get sad because I always like to do the little logo.
Logo. Okay, and